Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing another type of Q&A video coming up off of one of the biggest episodes of The Walking Dead ever, Season 6, Episode 3. Spoiler warning if you're not caught up. In this one, we're going to be talking about how we're feeling. I thought this was a fun topic for us to do. Of course, spoiler warning as usual. It's all over the web, though. Everybody's talking about it. This is probably the biggest, like the biggest thing that they've done in The Walking Dead for a really, really long time. This is the most traffic online I've seen for Walking Dead in like forever. And the first question comes from Rod Lops, and he says, "Hey Trev, you're getting all these questions on if Glenn is dead, but the real question is, do you want him to come back or do you want him to actually be dead? I hope he's dead." This is what he says. Not because I don't like him, but just because it would be really dumb if it looked like The Walking Dead finally killed off a big character just to be like, haha, just kidding, we don't have the balls to kill off a main character. If he does come back, then I hope he dies right away with Negan in that same episode. He comes back. So great comment from Rod, and I wanted to use it for this one. So the first part of his question, how do I feel about it? What do I think? Well, of course, I would say, because I like Glenn a lot, I'd like to see him come back. And I do really like what they did with this one, where it looks like he's dead for sure. But then, you've got the question about the guts and about the zombies eating Nicholas and Rick and the gunfire and everything. All kinds of craziness and things happening and what will happen. So in real life, like we've said, for sure you'd be dead in that situation in real life. But it's a show, right? Of course. And, you can see what will happen with it. Of course, there's also some cheating involved here. There is. So there's a lot of spoilers online, a lot of pictures of Stephen Youn in filming after this episode. So with many episodes to come. And some people would say, well, they could be flashbacks, things like this. If they were flashbacks, I could see like one episode, maybe two, but there's lots of pictures of him with other characters and other things happening all over the place. So it seems to me, again, it's cheating, that those who think he's going to survive are actually probably right because he's in all those pictures. So if he wasn't, it would, it would be like, well, what, did he just stay on for the rest of the year because he loves the show so much he just wanted to watch the others? I don't think so. I don't think that would be the case. Or they kept him in there so people wouldn't think something's up. I don't think so. It looks to me like he's in costume. He's ready to act. He's ready to do his thing. And he's going to make it through this part. But I do like your follow-up here where you say that you think that you'd just like to see him killed off later. Because that may actually still happen anyway. I was thinking with this one, what they might do actually with the Negan situation is they may do it exactly the same as the comic books, and all of us will think that they're going to swap it, but then they just don't. And it all shocks us all because we thought they were going to swap it, and they don't do that. It's exactly the same. That would be quite crazy if that's what happened. If he made it out of this, and then when that episode comes up, he's like, "It's okay, don't worry about it. I've been through some shit. He kills me, whatever. It's all right, guys. It's cool. Don't worry about it. It's good. I'm good with this right now. So this is fine. Go ahead, do your thing." Just because he's been through such brutal stuff that it's like, okay, what's worse, baseball bat or 1,000 zombies ready to tear you to shreds? That's a good question. I don't know which was worse. But what do I want? Now, I hear what you're saying too, Rod, that it would be good to see them kill off some main cast characters here and there because I don't want to say it's been a while because they did, of course, kill Beth and Tyrese, and I felt like they were main cast too. But he's one of the original characters from the beginning of the show. So that's a huge death. The reason why I would like to see him continue is because we do have 16 episode seasons, and he's a really cool character to watch go on runs and kind of as like a field leader in that, as we saw him with Noah and Nicholas and the others. I really like to see him pull through this one. I know it might feel a bit contrived because in real life you would never make it out of that situation, but I'm sure something's going to happen, or the guts just being on him from Nicholas. Maybe the walkers will turn around and go in another direction or something. I don't know, but we'll have to see what happens with it. But yeah, the spoilers kind of lead us to in a different direction, so that it's pretty hinting for us, that know about the spoilers, have seen the pictures and that he is clearly in other episodes. So he's got to survive somehow, right? It has to. But so that's how I'm feeling about it. I hope he makes it. Because I just like the character so much. I know the benefits of them killing off anybody and that, but I'd still like to see him. I'd still like to see him make it, especially now that they faked us all out, because they faked us out pretty good. So, but they did the same thing with Judith, and almost nobody noticed that. When we did the videos on that, we talked about that, her being alive, and I saw comments and, analyzed the way Tyrese was running and everything, and noticed that, yeah, Judith must be alive, and everyone thought she was dead at the mid-season finale. So, yeah, they've done it before, but this one was handled really good, and, yeah, because it looks like, as you're watching it, unless you're watching it really carefully, it looks like Glen's getting eaten. Like, when I watched it the first time, it was my interpretation, just as watching it, as I'm absorbing everything, that he's getting ripped apart in his chest and everything, like I said in the review, because that was my first impression. Until I watched it again and I heard what you guys had to say, and I looked at it, I'm like, wow, yeah, those are guts or those are intestines. That wouldn't come out of your chest, right? Yeah, exactly. So, you kind of notice it that Nicholas did. He did fall underneath him, so, that's it goes different. But anyway, I want Glen to make it. So you guys can write in the comments below, do you want Glen to survive, or do you think that it makes sense if they just kill him off, because then it'll loosen our sense of comfort, which is already done to me anyway, of characters being safe in that. So yeah, write your comments below about that, and hopefully we'll see in episode 5. I'm thinking episode 5 of the season, I think we'll see what happens to Glen. I think it won't be a question after that episode. Episode 4, I think we're going to see mostly Morgan stuff, so unless maybe there's a few little clips in there. We'll see. Next one's from Samuel Fay, and he says, Glen is dead. I think I'm quitting. I'm quitting the series. No, you're not. Shut up. You'll be watching next week. You won't miss an episode because you'll want to see what happens next. The same thing has been said in Game of Thrones for years, and even in Walking Dead too, when Beth was killed off, and most of those people are still, except I do know a few people that stop watching after certain deaths, but then afterwards they get over it. They're not so upset anymore, and they come back and they watch it more. So yeah. Next one's from Tyler Vetrinan, and he says, I personally think Glen is dead, but I can understand why someone would think he is still alive. Everything they're saying makes sense. Nicholas did fall on top of him, and it really looks like they are ripping apart Nicholas instead of Glen. It would also make sense for the walkers to stop if Glen was covered in guts, which is also a flashback to the first episode he was in. Yeah, when he's covered with guts from a zombie. People have argued that as well too, though, Tyler. That and I agree with you. I think that's probably how he's going to get out of it. That's the most likely way that they're going to do it. But they are fresh guts, so would zombies go after it then? They don't really attack each other. That gets pretty. I think we're overanalyzing a bit. Something I noticed though that nobody seems to notice is when Michonne says, "Have you ever been covered in so much blood that you didn't know if it was yours, Walker's, or your friends?" Which would be a reason that Glen is freaking out. Maybe he thinks he is actually being ripped apart because he's in shock. Well, you would be in shock in that situation no matter what. Just like Nicholas, and how he's looking at him and how he even falls off to begin with. He probably didn't intend to fall down with Nicholas on top of him. But we have seen before, as season 2, when the herd's coming through, Daryl hides underneath a body, and then all the walkers just go by. They don't even notice him. So that's I guess it's like a similar type of deal. However, with Nicholas's deal, by the time they're done eating him, there's going to be nothing left. Like, it's going to be just blood and guts everywhere, and they're going to finish that all. And if Glen's just lying there playing dead, maybe he'll be all right. I don't know. Play dead. It's your best chance, man. Just play dead. Here's why I think he's dead, though. The who dumbass over the walkie-talkie to Rick is a dead giveaway that this was his final episode. Rewatch the episode. Everything that Glen does is not normal and true. And they also had him in the very first scene of the episode. Right off the bat, you see him running. He's helping out the girl. Is it Alicia? Is that what her name is? I don't know. It doesn't matter. The random girl that was in Heath's group from Alexandria. So it was only in there like the one episode. So it doesn't. Yeah, she doesn't matter anyway. But he's helping her out. He's being a good guy as usual. He's trying to help Alexandria and that by setting the fire and all that. So we didn't start the fire. He's trying to start the fire, and he's trying to do the good guy Glen stuff that he does. They were setting his death up since the beginning of the episode. I'm 85% sure he's dead, but I hope that I'm wrong. Well, like I said, the spoilers change the odds, based on the situation. Yeah, probably 85, 90% chance he is dead on the actual situation. But we've got some inside info, right? So it changes things, right? Next one's from Joe Stuckey, and he says, "Hey, Trev, huge fan here, and I love what you do. Keep it up. Got some Q&A questions that I hope you can take into consideration, man. What episode do you think Daryl will be captured in?" So that's a good question right off the bat. Man, that's weird, eh? We're 3 episodes in, 4 will be Morgan, and that would probably be like 5 or 6 or something, right? Because it was in the trailer, and yeah, he says here, I'm thinking episode 5 or 6. I think you're right, dude. We'll probably go for 6, I think. And then it says, what if it turns out that Glenn actually was dead? Would you be disappointed with it? A character who's been around since the series first episode just dies like that. I still think he'll be back. But for argument's sake, would you be pissed off if Glenn actually died? Well, I don't know, man, because, I'd rather he be alive. I'd rather he survive it. But at the same time, I don't think it was a terrible death. It was a pretty epic story. It was rewatchable. It's not like with Tyrese where it just kind of haphazardly just happens out of nowhere because he's tired and not paying attention, and Noah's got these little ninja teenage zombie brothers. No, it was an epic, struggle for survival to the very last minute, type of deal. And it wasn't like one zombie killed him. It's like 200 zombies killed him. It's like, oh man. Plus he's always going on runs. He's always trying to evade them, and he's the fastest and everything, and he's doing his damnedest to make it. And it's like, it finally caught up to him, and he finally wasn't able to get away. If he did. But, as we're thinking, probably not. I'd say most likely he survives. Because otherwise, he was just filming the rest of the season for nothing. He's just like standing around watching or something. I don't know. Crazy. So those are kind of my thoughts. I wouldn't really be pissed off about it, but I'd prefer that he lived. That's just me. So, but if he actually is dead, I actually would be more surprised at this point if he is for sure dead after I've seen all the things you guys have said, all the points that have been brought up, and all the argument that's online, because there's been a lot of it. You can't surpass those pictures, that he's on set. So you can't take away from that. And the last one will be from Lightning Shabam, and he or she says, Trev, Tara is pregnant in real life, so is that death confirmed? This was asked a while ago. No, not necessarily, because Sasha was pregnant last year too, and she's still alive, right? So not necessarily. They can also, there's a lot of stuff they can do with it, depending on what they want to do. Like, if they know somebody is pregnant or whatever, or somebody, they just kind of omit them or just do close-ups on them or something. Like if she gets pregnant, she starts to, gain weight, that kind of thing, which is normal, of course, when you're pregnant and all that, around the midsection, obviously, and everything. They could just do zoom-ins in the face or top part. They can be creative with it, or just have her be a background character for a while so we don't see her very much. And most viewers would never even notice. I mean, it's not like she's Rick Grimes or something, that's not the case. So, not necessarily, but, she could be killed off this season. We'll see, but I don't think that by itself confirms it. So, there you go, guys. That's kind of how I'm feeling right now. People wanted to know, one way or another, whichever way it goes. How do I feel? There it is for you. I prefer he makes it. So what do you guys prefer? Do you want to see him dead, or do you think that it'd be better if the kind of spoilered information and the people who believe that he's going to make it are correct? Will you be happier that way? Write it below. Let me see what you guys think. And if you like this video, please thumb it up below. If you want to help support the channel, please share, please favorite. And if you're new and you want to subscribe, go ahead and subscribe. That's it for this one, guys. We'll see you again probably tomorrow or the next day. Keep sending me your Q&A questions. Of course, happy Halloween for everybody. This week is going to be fun on let's see, is it Saturday? Halloween is Saturday. Yeah, so there's Ash vs. Evil Dead. So expect a review for that. I'm definitely going to review that. I'll see you guys tomorrow. As always, it's Trev. I'm saying peace.